What's up, everybody? As you guessed, I'm here to give you another movie review, and today we are going to do Ad Astra. Now, before I even get to that, I did look that up because you might be smarter than me. I had no idea what that even meant. I was like, what is this word? Is it a spaceship? Is it part of the Lima Project? Or, like, what is it? It's actually a Latin phrase that means to the stars. Now, I wish I would have looked that up before going into the theater because that makes way more sense after seeing the movie. So, Ad Astra, Latin phrase, to the stars. Now, this is the Brad Pitt movie. I'm pretty positive this is his first big movie that he portrays in space. I feel like he's probably been like, I've been all over the world. Let's go outside of Earth now. So that's kind of cool to see all that. Now, I'm excited to give you this kind of review because I don't know if it's on purpose, but for me, I just saw a ton of Easter eggs and kind of enjoy it. I have no idea. I don't think there's any correlation whatsoever. I just think it's fun little nuggets that was portrayed in the movie and that kind of stuff, or that I just experienced out of it, which makes it even cooler. So first, let's just start with Liv Tyler. One of her biggest movies is Armageddon, where she's the love interest of Ben Affleck in that, and Ben Affleck goes to space and that kind of stuff. So here she is, Earthling, in that movie, and all of a sudden in this movie, Ad Astra, she's Brad Pitt's love interest, and he goes to space. So it's kind of funny that she's reliving that character. She keeps dating these astronauts. She must have a thing. Let's go to another... which is probably even cooler, little Easter egg and that kind of stuff. Many of you guys might have seen a movie, came back 2000. I'm going with 2000. Movie called Space Cowboys. Clint Eastwood directed and starred in that movie, along with Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland. So... And did I mention that Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland are both in this movie? Come on. So with that being said, so it's not only that, it's kind of like, all right, we're in space. That's cool. Now, I am going to ruin Space Cowboys. It's 19 years old. If you haven't seen it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But in the end of Space Cowboys... Actually, hold on. Let me rewind for a second. No, I can finish that. The end of Space Cowboys, Tommy Lee Jones' character is left out in space. So, that's how it ended. You do, at the very end of the movie, you see him... on the moon and that kind of stuff. So there is that. But that's how Space Cowboys ended. It goes deeper. I'm not going to get into all that kind of stuff or whatever. But so there's that. Now, Ad Astra, this isn't ruining anything. It's in the trailers and that kind of stuff. The Ad Astra, that's some of the story is just like, you know, Tommy Lee Jones plays Brad Pitt's father in this movie, and he's part of this very important project, and he went out to space, and they lost all communications with him and everything like that. So it's kind of cool that there's some homage. It almost seems like that, you know, it's like the end of Space Cowboys, you know, they had to leave him out in space, and all of a sudden this movie starts with him out in space. So that was really cool. Donald Sutherland was part of his team in Space Cowboys, and in this movie, this is so minute, it doesn't give anything away, but Donald Sutherland knows Tommy Lee Jones too in this movie. It was just like, yeah, you know, I worked with your father. Donald Sutherland's character role is kind of more a cameo, so that's what kind of makes me feel like, man, is this part of, you know, could this really be like a Space Cowboy sequel? It's not. Don't quote me on that. But just in my head, I kept thinking that when I was watching this movie. You know, he's like, yeah, I've known your father back in the day, and that was the worst Donald Sutherland impression in the world. He doesn't even sound anything like that. I don't even know what that was. I'm sorry. But anyways, here's another cool thing. Let's just scrap all that. Here's another little cool thing. In the movie, they never tell you Tommy Lee Jones' first name. They never tell you it. He must go by his middle name and last name. The crazy thing, though, is they show you the letter of his first name. And do you want, like, so in Space Cowboys, his name was, his name wasn't full. His last name was Hawkins. And so he goes by Hawk. So even in the credits, he's credited as Hawkins is Tommy Lee Jones. Do you want to just give a wild guess what his first initial was in this Ad Astra movie? Yeah, it was definitely an H. And they never said what his first name was. So in my head, I'm like, look, it's Hawk. Now, his last name wasn't Hawkins. I can't remember. I think it was like McBride or something like that. I think his name was H. Cliff McBride. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry. And Brad Pitt's name was Roy McBride. Pretty positive it was McBride. So, I mean, his last name wasn't Hawkins and that kind of stuff. But that's kind of fun for me, just kind of like see some comparisons between movies that, you know, nobody might have thought about and that kind of stuff. And like I said, I don't know if they're made by the same movie companies or anything like that. Realistically, there's no correlation between the two of them. It was just me knowing Space Cowboys and just kind of giving this review. So, but let's just talk about Ad Astra just for a second. One thing I do want to tell you guys going into it is consider it more of a drama movie. It is space. There are some, you know, action things that happen and that kind of stuff. But realistically, the movie's focuses heavily on the story. And it's go into it expecting more of a drama. Are there some suspenseful parts and different things like that? Absolutely. But the core of it all kind of goes back down to it's just a drama. So I don't know if that will lean you towards it or away from it, or that's what you're expecting. I will say it's just over 2 hours, not by much, probably, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that. I will say it felt that long. There's a couple slow parts in the movie. And could you go to the bathroom during some of these moments? Probably. Like I said, though, this movie relies heavily on the story, so you could be missing little aspects of the story. A cool thing, though, that I liked about it is it just seemed fresh. There's been a lot of space movies and different things like that. This one was a space movie that I felt like visually was a little bit different than what you've normally seen. I mean, spaceships are spaceships and that kind of stuff, but just going outside of the Earth, the kind of different reflections and things like that. I don't want to give anything away and that kind of stuff, but just some of this visualization that is given in this movie I thought was a little bit different, so I definitely give props to that. Overall, though, I did feel like it was a little slow. I walked into it expecting a little bit more action or just adventure out of it. So because of some of those things, I'd rank it a little bit lower than the norm. But if you go into there expecting a drama, knowing it's 2 hours long and different things like that, I think that probably would have helped me going into it a little bit more. To me, I probably got to give this, probably a 2.5 out of 5, which stinks. I'd hate to rate it low because I kind of enjoyed it. I just feel like I walked into it really excited about it. It's one of those things where you get hyped because the trailer looks so good, and then you see it and it just didn't live up to your expectations. So I feel like if you lower your expectations just a little bit, go into just watching a space movie. So with that being said, you know, it's just remember the name of the movie is Ad Astra, which means to the stars. It's more... Nope, not even gonna say it. No spoilers. Not gonna say it. If you're into space, I think it's worth checking out for sure. If you're into Brad Pitt, I think it's worth checking out for sure. Or if you're not into Brad Pitt, or you're kind of about space movies, maybe wait till it comes on a streaming platform or DVD. So there's my quick review about Ad Astra and all the little fun Easter eggs that I personally saw in the movie and just thought was fun. Maybe you saw them too, or maybe you knew more. So hit me up with the comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you like this video, press a like and be sure to hit subscribe so you can keep up to date with future reviews. So thank you guys.